Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are located in the world. My name is Felipe, and I am here with Charter for Compassion, the live show that we got going every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, or 2 p.m. Eastern time, or 7 p.m. GMT. And we're super happy to be able to provide this for you to know what's going on with the Charter for Compassion, and as well as bringing in a special guest for today. My special guest, his name is Michael Lisagor. He's an author of the new book that he just published called Every Life Lesson for Teenagers, and between parentheses, and everyone else. So let me just bring him into the screen right now. Hi, Michael. How are you?
Hi, doing great. Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining us in this little show time. I would like to, let people know about you first of all. So tell us, who is Michael Lisagor?
Let's see. I live with my wife on Bainbridge Island, Washington, and we ran away from home when we were 17 and 19, and we've been together 55 years.
Wow.
So that, it's obviously, I mentioned that because it's a big part of my life. And we have kids and grandkids, and they're all doing great. I'm an author. I've written 9 books. I wrote 4 books during COVID because we were stuck in the house.
It turned out to be like productive time for you, huh?
And I, what else? I'm a retired IT consultant. I had a consulting company for the last 20 years, and basically executive coaching industry and government executives. And I play, you can see the piano behind me. I play jazz piano. Rediscovered it from my youth.
Awesome. And so tell me, how did you get involved with the Charter for Compassion? How did you hear about the organization?
Well, we moved here 20 years ago from Virginia, and through our real estate agent, we stayed at Marilyn Turkovich and Lynn DeVries' house for the week until our furniture showed up. And that's how we met them. And they've been our close friends for 20 years. And of course, Marilyn's the executive director of Charter. And so we've been Charter supporters since the beginning. We, neither here nor there maybe, but my wife and I have practiced a form of Buddhism for all these 55 years. And so the Charter really resonated with our desire to see a more compassionate world and to do what we can individually to make that happen.
That's awesome. So, Michael, why don't you tell us a little about the book that you just published and that I have invited you to tell us a little bit about?
Well, thanks. It's so I've spoken for the last 8 years to all the 9th graders locally, and so that's over 2,000 of them. And I talked to them about the issues that are really important to them, like what if they struggle with depression and anxiety, which a lot of them do, or their friends have depression and anxiety, or how do they improve relationships? What if they get a bad grade? What if they don't know what they want to be when they grow up? Things like that. And how can they make a difference in the world? They're all struggling with that and maintaining hope in a world that's very challenging, of course, for young people. And I centered on young people because they're the future. And that's where I think we get the biggest return on investment is in our youth. And so Bainbridge Youth Services, who originally brought me in to do these presentations, which I'm really honest about my own childhood and teenagehood, which was really difficult. They suggested I put it in writing form because they knew I write books. So they suggested I make it a book, and it's 11 life lessons for teenagers, so it came out just a few weeks ago.
That's amazing. So let me share my screen really quickly so that people can know a little bit more. And I'm gonna share the link right now on the chat. So if you are watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, you'll be able to see it right now. There it is. So from this 11 life lessons for teenagers, what's something that to you really like maybe sparked something different? Like what was something that for you feel like teenagers nowadays are experiencing that maybe you or even myself did not experience when we were younger?
Yeah, and there, every generation, including mine, has had its big challenges, right? When I was young, it was Cuban Missile Crisis and Vietnam and social justice. And of course, back then we thought everything was going to get solved in the next 20 years. But human beings, what they are, I think one of a few things that really strike me, and I keep coming back to, one is that a more peaceful world is a marathon, not a sprint. And I think that's really important to keep in mind and to return to. Otherwise, we get really frustrated because world events can overwhelm us. And then the other thing that really I keep coming back to pretty much every day is Václav Havel, who was the president of Czechoslovakia. And even in the Gulag, in the Soviet Union, back in the Soviet Union, when they had him in prison for 10 years, he came to the conclusion that hope is a state of the mind, not the state of the world. And that's something that I leave the students with every time, is that thought, that if we base our happiness and our hope on what's going on in the world, we're destined to be frustrated and feel hopeless. But if we realize that all that's really important is we're each unique, there's only one of us, even though there's 8 billion of us. There's only one Felipe, and only you can live your life and make a difference, which you are, which I so admire. And I think young people need to feel that they make a difference in the world, because it does ripple out. Even when we're kind to somebody in the grocery store, we don't know what kind of day they're having. So does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And there's beauty and understanding the uniqueness, yet the collectivity that we all have and share as human beings, right? So
Yeah.
that was really beautiful, Michael. Thank you so much. So I have shared the link there. People can purchase your book and communicate with you through that website, I'm guessing. Do you have, well, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to joining us once again. Are there any famous last words that you would like to close this conversation with before I let you go?
I would encourage people, if they'd like to get the book, today only, because I knew I was doing the charter. If you go to my website, it's only $3.83, which is what it cost me.
Wow.
For the paperback. Kindle's less expensive. So
that's amazing.
I want people to read it. I'm not trying to make any money on it. And
that's great. That's awesome.
So I think, I wanted to let people know that. And I really appreciate what the charter has been doing and continues to do. It's an amazing organization. And I think anything we can do to support that in the golden rule is absolutely critical. So
golden rule, baby. Yes. Thank you so much, Michael. Again, giveteenshope.org is the website for you to not only learn more about this book, but also be able to purchase it. Michael, thank you so much once again. We hope that you are able to spread your beautiful message of this 11 lessons far and wide. And we'll be seeing you hopefully sometime soon, maybe another publication. Who knows?
Who knows? Thank you very much.
Bye. All right. That was awesome, my dear friends. So let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can look at all the other things that are coming up with the Charter for Compassion. So again, giveteenshope.org. And for today, $3.83 for the paperback for people that would like to purchase this. What an amazing story for him to tell us about and for him to share. And to use this platform with the Charter for Compassion for everybody else. And this is also a good time to tell you, if you are part of the Charter for Compassion, if you have signed the charter, if you're a partner organization or belong to an institution that does work with us, please use our platforms. We have people on our social media platforms that watch this, or maybe they watch the recording. And then we have an incredible newsletter that goes out every other week. And we try to provide different kind of programming for everyone to enjoy and to hopefully get something to grow their self-love and self-compassion, so that compassion can translate into compassion for others and around the world. So let's go into our calendar of events. If you click right here, join upcoming events, you go into event calendar. We have some ongoing events, as always, like the Sangha that happens every last Saturday of the month. Then we have Kitchen Table Chat that happens every Friday at the end of the month, every first Friday of the month. But right now you have here the June events. So we have the magical ability of music to inspire action. So we had dates that supposedly were going to be done by the end of May, but Marilyn has felt the inspiration to keep going with this webinar, and it seems like everybody has been very excited and has been enjoying this quite a lot. So we have added dates to this webinar for, let's see, June 12, 19, and 26 so far. The magical ability of music to inspire action is an hour programming with Marilyn acting as a DJ, showing us different music and artists around the world that will inspire a specific theme for that day. We invite everyone to join us. It's free to attend. Obviously, you can always make a donation, but it's free to attend for anyone that would like to participate on that. Next, we have the movements of compassion through civil disobedience. This, my friends, is a very, very exciting offering that the charter is providing. This is happening this Friday, so tomorrow, June 7th, at, if I'm not mistaken, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, which means 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, and for 3:30 p.m. GMT or 8 p.m. in India. We are extremely grateful to be able to have voices from youth from around the world that has been participating lately on the different youth encampments and protests about the genocide that we're seeing in Palestine. We'll be able to have these voices share their experiences, talking about how is it that civil disobedience can be inspired through compassion, and what can you do if you're feeling the same urge and frustration to do something about it. Feeling a little powerless with everything that we're seeing in social media and in different news outlets. So that is in the chat right now for you to register if you want to. Next, we have at the on Friday as well, tomorrow, right after the panel, we have the kitchen table chat. This is put on by the health sector of the Charter for Compassion. Every first Friday of the month, the health sector gets together and talks about different initiatives, things that are happening around the world or with different partners, and see how can we, the Charter for Compassion, and the robust volunteer group of volunteers that we have, can help or provide some feedback or help you promote something. We're always happy to use again this network to connect you around the world and to hopefully provide more support to whatever initiatives you are working on. Next, we have on June 18th, we have our global read, A Case for Compassion. What happens when we prioritize people and the planet? Let me just put this on the... Oh, actually, let me put the kitchen chat link first. I don't think I added it. No, so let me see. There it is, the kitchen chat link. And now I'm going to add the global read on June 18th, Tuesday, June 18th. We invite Sarah Shire to tell us a little about her book, A Case for Compassion, What Happens When We Prioritize People and the Planet. This is going to happen June 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Everyone is welcome to join us. There's a suggested donation of $10, but if not, it's free to attend. We're super excited to be able to see how is it that compassion can affect systems. So in this case, what would happen if the system within our society focused on care and healing instead of growth and profit? Something that, like, I feel like with compassion, we feel very much inspired to always think about considering the systems that we grew up in and how destructive and domination has created inequality and inequity for everyone in this world. And so compassion can really be the solution for that. And sometimes a lot of people think that compassion can be a very sweet term, maybe weakness, when in reality is the most powerful tool that we can have and observe within us and in our societies. Last but not least, my dear friends, I would like to invite you to sign up for our newsletter. We have plenty of things that happen all the time in the charter, definitely all the time. But it is good for you to receive those news in your email so that you can always come back to it. And oh, sorry, I just posted the same link. Let me just copy this. And there we go. So that's the link to sign up for our newsletter. We send it every other week or at least twice a month. And we try to provide not only the different things that are happening with the Charter for Compassion, but also a message that might inspire you, or that we're hoping that will inspire you to be more compassionate or to see the world in a different point of view, which in sense makes me think of the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated, and how sometimes we tend to forget that our personal experience can be very different from somebody else's experience, and vice versa, right? And so we should be open and caring and compassionate towards everybody else, so that we can have more understanding and more care for each other. With that, my friends, I feel like I'm done with the show for today. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation with Michael. Remember to go to his website, giveteenshope.org, for that book and then the different events that are happening with the charter during June. I will be seeing you next week with another live show, and we hope that you are able to spread ripples of compassion within you and throughout